Think about this for a second. What if I told you that World War I, the war that killed over 16 million people, could have been stopped by one man? A man who saw it coming years before it happened, who tried to warn everyone and was completely ignored. This is the true story of Count Alois Lexa von Aehrenthal, the diplomat who tried to stop the war that changed the world forever. Aehrenthal wasn't a soldier or a general. He was a thinker. Born in 1854 in what's now the Czech Republic, he grew up in a wealthy family, studied politics and history in Geneva and Prague, and believed that words could save lives better than bullets ever could. He joined the Austrian diplomatic service and quickly built a reputation as calm, intelligent, and fair. He served in Paris, Russia, and Germany, and everywhere he went he saw the same thing: powerful nations obsessed with ego, territory, and pride. Even back then, he said, if Europe keeps feeding its pride, it's going to feed its own destruction. By 1906, Aehrenthal became Austria-Hungary's foreign minister, one of the most powerful positions in Europe. But the world he stepped into was a minefield. Germany and Britain were locked in an arms race. Russia and Austria were fighting for control in the Balkans, and every country was building alliances, promising to defend each other no matter what. Aehrenthal could see it. One wrong move and everything would collapse. He tried to stop it before it began. He wrote to the leaders of Germany, Russia, and Britain, begging them to talk, to meet, to compromise, to keep the peace. But nobody wanted to hear it. They called him weak, naive, the minister who was afraid of war. Then came 1908. The Ottoman Empire was falling apart, and Austria-Hungary decided to officially take over Bosnia and Herzegovina, two regions it had controlled for years. Aehrenthal agreed, hoping it would bring stability, but instead it triggered chaos. Russia felt betrayed, Serbia was furious, and Europe began splitting into two sides, the exact nightmare Aehrenthal had predicted. In private, he told a friend, if war ever comes to Europe, it will start in the Balkans. And just 6 years later, he was right. By 1911, Aehrenthal was sick and exhausted. He had spent his life trying to keep Europe from destroying itself. He tried one last time, drafting a proposal for a European peace summit, but his emperor didn't listen. In 1912, Aehrenthal died. 2 years later, the Archduke was assassinated in Sarajevo. The dominoes fell exactly as he had warned, and the world went to war. After the war, nobody remembered him. The generals who fought were called heroes. The politicians who failed were blamed, but the one man who tried to stop it all was erased from history. Decades later, his letters were found, and in one of them he had written, "We are standing on the edge of a volcano, and we call it civilization." He wasn't a prophet. He was just the only man brave enough to tell the truth. Imagine if they'd listened. No World War I, no Treaty of Versailles, maybe no World War II. Count Alois Lexa von Aehrenthal, the man who tried to stop the First World War and whose warning came too late, because sometimes the people who fight for peace never make it into the history books. Like, share and subscribe to Shadows of History, where the past still breathes and forgotten heroes live again.